What is going on, everybody? It is very late at night and my voice is kind of out, but that's not going to stop me from releasing a VOD review. Today we have a very special one, and that is a community member, Chop, playing against the #1 Goldlewis in EU, Smoib. I'm very excited to watch this because I'm actually a fan of Smoib myself, and I'm very curious how he plays against Nago. I find this to be a very bad matchup, but we're going to watch this one from the perspective of the Nago and how you should be winning this match. Let's get into it. And here we are from game 1. What are the round starts? So you backdash, you have 6A4. I think that round start sucks in this matchup. You go for the 2P, 5P stagger pressure, keeping him trapped in the corner. I like what you're doing so far, but you go for a mindless jump in. I don't know what that. Okay, so first of all, we have a couple problems. Number one, what is this jump here? What are you actually trying to accomplish here? I guess he empty hopped, but you're never going to touch Goldlewis up here. He'd have to super jump for you to reach this distance. And then after you realize you made a mistake, and then you press another button and get counter hit for it. So this position was very, very favored for you. You even had the high blood to just keep him out with 5H and 2H. And you kind of just gave him a turn for free. He gets the knockdown, and here we have another thing to say. I saw this as well. 2K into overhead. As soon as you see 2K, there are two options that the Goldlewis can go for, and this matters for 5K as well. Number one, they have a frame trap in a 2D, and number two, everything else is fake. I mean, they can also 6A4, but they're not going to go for 6A4 like that. So, guessing with MASH is actually really good because you're going to cover every behemoth option besides 6A4 after 2K, and you're going to lose to 2D, but unless they have meter, there's not really much reward off of 2D. So it's actually very good to MASH if you see a 2K or a 5K. So he goes for the fake option, you hold it, and this time he goes for the 2K 2D, but you don't mash it, you actually just get knocked down, so you might as well have been mashing. You put him in the corner, you have high blood again, you can just play it safe, nope, but you give him a turn again. You punish him for overextending, that's nice, you catch the backdash, he uses burst now. Throws out the drone, and you jump in, give him a turn, but you actually YRC. And now we're in kind of an even state, you are at the advantage, you're playing too aggressive here, okay. So you have him at very, very low HP, very, very low HP. And you choose to continue aggression. From here, you should be Fukio backing, then far slash, resetting your pressure with the high blood. Because at this point, Goldlewis trapped in the corner. He doesn't have resources. He doesn't have burst or meter. He might be able to get drone, but you can stop that with even a react clone or a 5H or a 2H. And instead, it looks like you press a button here, you clash. He wins the clash cancel. And now immediately you're losing the game. And this matters because obviously ultimately I assume you're going to lose this round. But Goldlewis gets a knockdown, and really there's one choice here, right? Goldlewis has one thing, and we all know what he's going for. It's a cross up, and the reason for this is because Goldlewis never wants to have his back to the corner, because let's say worst case scenario happens when he goes with a cross up, right? Let's say you block the double cross up, right? He's out of the corner. He's mid-screen. Your back is still to the corner. You're at high blood. You don't really have defensive movements. Or you don't really have like your great Fukio movement or great specials, right? But let's say that he goes for, let's say he stays same side and you mash correctly and now he's back to the corner, or he blocks it all still and your back is to the, and the Goldlewis is back to the corner, right? So you should expect a cross in these kinds of situations. He goes to the cross up, goes to the 268. Okay, just standard Goldlewis pressure. This is all true. Until he goes to the 5K overhead, that was not true, and he steals the round from you. Play more defensively. And we're on to the next round. You mess up Behemoth, you take the turn, you frame trap, nice. Doesn't look like you confirm, you mess it up, and he gets another knockdown on you. So far, I don't think he's knocked you down from neutral, right? It's been all defensive, like a Baria. He gets a knockdown, goes to the overhead, he has a meter to extend this pressure, but he messes up. He tries to get back in, but you do 2H that run in. You Fukio in to us. Keep him locked down. I'm looking at your blood. You're close, and once again, Nabari gets him a knockdown. He does mess it up by accidentally OTGing, but it's a much better position than he was already in, and then he aerial approaches you. In this matchup, you cannot be letting you cannot be letting Goldlewis's aerial approach you because you have such great options to deal with it. Your 6P is one of the best in the game. Your 2H clobbers Goldlewis because not only does it cover the sky, but it also covers him on the ground, and like it, you shouldn't be letting Goldlewis BRC towards you from across the screen. I know it's kind of a startling option, but it's not that potent. I promise you, it is not that potent. And we're on to the next game. Okay, no one. We had a really neutral. Once again, okay, I'm already gonna say You are playing too aggressively in neutral. You are heavily favored here. There's no reason for you to get aggressive. It looks like you're trying to, well, I doubt there's a reaction, right? This is probably just happened to be this way where you throw out clone and he happened to be in the air. But throwing out clone from this distance isn't that great because you can see he can, number one, he could JD. It would immediately stop you in the clone. Number two, he could do exactly this, which is what he does. And he does it a couple other times throughout the set. You do tech the throw and now you're in a great position to win this round. Even great extension. You keep him in the corner. He backdashes, punishes you. Unfortunate, really. That's a setup. Drone locks you down, does it again. I assume we're going to see it again. There it is. 5k overhead, 5k 684. Still having to hold all this pressure. He has no more meter, but now you have pressure. Use your meter, please. So you're not FDing here, and you're right at the edge. There's lots of gaps here. Use your meter to stop him from doing this. You also have burst, too. But the meter doesn't carry on the next round. You should be using that meter. Even if you guess wrong, I mean, you're probably going to lose the round anyways if you're letting him get away with it all. Once again, he's engaging through the air. This time you anti-air it. I'm proud of you. 2S, 2S. You whiff another 2S. So it's kind of weird. 6p. Okay, you're throwing a preemptive 6ps. That is very strong against Goldlewis. Run back in. You should have 2H that JD there as soon as he whiffs something. He challenges you once again. Goes to the cross-up. All right, another reason this cross-up is great. First, let's go back a little more. Okay, so the clone there is super good because it cancels his drone. Then he 2-4. He's been challenging with this 2P after your 2-1-4S's, or maybe it's 2-1-4H, every time. So whatever options you know to do, go for the ones that beat that, or at least tie it, right? Fukio back and far slash, just reset pressure. Goes to the cross-up again, and you burst, and he's out of the corner. Another reason to go for the cross-up when your back is to the corner. Follows up his drone, but the drone doesn't matter because you are dead. And here we are into the final game. Round starts. You go for 6-2-3H. JD, good response to the 2H, because even if you don't hit him, you're still zoning him out. Keeping him out, I like it. And once again, okay, so you've got to chill with this. So he's gone for these clash things a lot throughout this set, and you just continuously play into them. You need to change your pressure structure when he's doing this to you. So he recognized that you press a P button, assumes you're going to press another one, cancels into the 2P, into a behemoth. Great knockdown from him. Once again, this is a really bad neutral matchup for Goldlewis. You should not be giving him these like Abare plays. You should not be giving him these defensive options, because I mean that's a free knockdown for him. He's probably going to get your burst out of this. I will say I was wrong about the cross up here. This time he has you fully conditioned to respect the cross up, so he went for the same side. Even though I wouldn't go for this specifically in this situation because you had burst, you could have offensively bursted there and then kept him in the corner and then use your high blood to 5H or 2H. So he gets a knockdown, goes to the close slash into that. Great 2H. He's going to burst here. No, he's holding it. Looks like you were baiting the burst at the end there with a 5 piece. He challenged with a 684. That's great. Messes up Behemoth. You back. Okay. You need to know this. I know you know this because you watch my stream, chap. This is a messed up Behemoth. This is not plus. And you respond to this with backdash instead of punishing with 5P or 5K. So make sure you're punishing those. There's a 684. He gets back in. He punishes your 2H with the 2S off the PRC. That's kind of matchup knowledge because the 2S will low profile the 2H, I think. At the very least, the hitbox is going to hit you before it comes out. So runs back in, mess up another Behemoth. And I already see not pressing a button. He's pressing 2K. You can punish him again for going for this. All right. He goes for the 2K into the Behemoth. Oh no. He messes up another one. And you respect it again. Please don't respect it. Oh, yeah, nice 2H. In the end, it didn't matter, I guess, but you have to know that that's not his turn. Backing off. 2S, keep him out. Yeah, I'd use Clone here. Try to keep... Yes, perfect. So the reason Clone is so strong in this situation is because you gave enough Goldlewis enough space that he's going to be going for like a drone here. I doubt he's going to go for a turret. It's just not that strong. But if he goes for the drone here, you obviously stop it. And even in the case that he doesn't, you can clone, follow up the clone, and then just play your higher meter out. And then by the time you're done with your block string, you'll be like here at like your ideal blood rage. So it looks like you do it. You challenge, you're back to this distance, you're playing the ideal blood rage right, 5H, 5H, and then you randomly go aggressive. That's a really great way to play Naga. Really good round by you there. 6H, I really despise your round start. That was terrible. This time he gets the overhead, messes it up, backs off, but you don't punish it. That's a weird block string. You've got to be defending against those. I guess he might have you conditioned to just respect things after that. He's been going to 268 and to 684 a ton. Ultimately, though, yeah, you should be teching those if he's running from all the way over there. Or at least challenge with a 5P or 5K when it's from that far away. So, he's challenging from the air again. You don't punish it. You go for a 6P clash thing. You do punish the whiffed behemoth this time with a gold burst. Let's see how you use the meter. Goes for the cross-up. He saggers into the throw. You could have used your super there. Could have used your super there as well. When you have meter, you need to be willing to use it. Even if you had gone for super and he blocked it, like you could have PRC'd out of it or red RC'd, whatever, you would have been completely fine. Instead, you've lost all of your HP and now you're in a very bad situation. He drops it at least. You get the 2H. He still is burst, but you have full meters. This actually isn't the worst scenario considering how bad the neutral is. Use 1 bar to BRC in, and it does matter. He does burst you out, but you're back to neutral. I would say really good job not FDing this. A lot of people would autopilot FD. I would probably even autopilot FD. It's very important that you maintain your meter advantage because it allows you to play in a different way than usual. So number one, you can just zone him out with like the 5Hs and 2Hs. And if you happen to whiff at anything, you can PRC. And then number two, if he ever gets into a position where he's taking another turn, you can super him between behemoths. So what do? You 2H, you're waiting for it. And you just got impatient there. You got very impatient. Goldlewis, throughout this entire set, has not been winning neutral outside of doing jumping behemoths. All the knockdowns have been A, jumping behemoths, and then B, mashing you during your pressure. So, I mean, you just have to play way more patient there. It looks like, I think you clone and followed up with Fukio here. The clone is fine. The clone is going to cover a lot of options. From here, you should be like PRCing forward and then like 5P lock him down or something, right? But you followed it up with the Fukio, kind of a lazy approach option, and you dive for it. So now let's talk about why you lost. And I think it comes down to one thing, and that is situational awareness. A lot of the time, you just don't really know what's going on around you. And mostly I mean that in the context of like picking up on your opponent's defensive and offensive habits. So let's talk about the things that you didn't recognize within the game, right? First, and you may not know this, but the 2K, 5K strings, once again, those are fake unless they go for the 2K or 5K into 2D. And you were respecting a lot of behemoths after those buttons. You can kind of just like react, press a button, and the risk reward is skewed into your favor there. Next, the continuous cross-ups out of the corner. You should have recognized that. If you didn't know, you can also jump air throw those. Or you can, I think you can also backdash cross-up as well if you'd like to do that. They only went for same side one time out of like the 4 or 5 times they did it, right? So that was something you should have recognized. Number 3, this one is very important. You should have recognized this in game. This is on you. The 5P clash situations happened a lot throughout the set. And for the people watching on YouTube, I watched more sets than were actually shown here. I just picked out the greatest games to show you. But, oh, they were getting so many of their knockdowns, not from neutral, but just from clashing into your 5Ps and then getting a hard knockdown from it. When that happens and you're continuously getting punished that way, you need to recognize it and then just not use it anymore. Zone them out better. Don't rely on very aggressive tactics. Next thing is that you're respecting those messed up behemoths instead of punishing them. And I know you know they're minus because you watch my stream. And there was even times during these sets where they messed it up and you were punishing it. But there was one time like 3 times in a row you respected it after they whiffed it. One of the hits they had meter on it, but even then you should at least try. There's nothing they can do when they're in the air whiffed like that. Even if they PRC it, they'll just be safe. They won't be able to cancel on anything to punish you from the air. Next, you were respecting him too much, mostly in the case of the run-up grabs. A lot of these were not reactable, but one really comes in mind. When he did like 268 from very far away and then full ran up to you while you're FDing and grabbed you. You're playing the character with the best buttons in the game. You should use them in situations like that. 5K particularly will immediately stop those kinds of pushes. And Goldlewis doesn't have great, actually even better, you should be using 6P in those situations because it's going to cover Goldlewis's far slash for resetting pressure. It's going to cover a JD and it's going to stop the throw. So there you go. There's your button. You have an amazing 6P. Use it in those situations. Next, we have, you're letting Goldlewis get away with way too many aerial approaches against you. I mean, you're playing Nago, once again, God normals, 2H, 6P. Like your space 2H legit can just not be punished by Goldlewis. So you should be using it more. Lame amount, 5H, 2H, 6Ps. I did see at one point, like mashing the 6Ps, and that was really good. When he had him trapped in the corner, it kind of stops a lot of his approaches, but I mean more in a neutral sense. That was more of like zoning him, like when you had him in the corner. You were trying to like cover out jump out options. But yeah, you have to be expecting more jumps, especially when the opponent shows that they're continuously going for it. Next, similarly to the 5P clash situation, I think Smoib was going for 2P after every single 2-on-4H, and in those situations, you either need to have a frame trap option on hand, like you can go into 2-on-4S or H into the 6-2-3H, which will frame trap for big damage, or you can back off and reset pressure with //. I'm not sure if that frame traps, if you'll actually punish the 2P, but at the very least, you will be resetting your pressure. And finally, the last mistake that I saw was not taking advantage of Gold Burst. Gold Burst is very overpowered in this game. If you get it off, that is a winning round for you. Even in the case where you are really down in the health department, if you had used your meter properly, I think that round is actually in your favor. And I think I said this during the game, but you should be zoning with 5H, 2H, and clone, and then just PRCing on any whiffs. And then if you ever blocked anything, you should have been using a defensive overdrive. And that's all I've got. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry about my voice. It's very late, and my voice is kind of lost by the end of the day, and I'm doing this very late at night because tomorrow's the baccpack 3. So, you know, if you see me live, I'm probably hosting a sub tournament. Check it out. But thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Bye-bye.